Nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming. It's a special event. Sarah Brightman is about to embark on an extraordinary adventure. She's in training at the moment, and on September the 1st, she'll blast off to the International Space Station. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sarah Brightman. Helen Sharman obviously was the first Brit ever to go into space. And now, second British woman to go up there, but to the International Space Station. So why?
I think being lucky enough to have watched the first man land on the moon, we thought that we were going to be astronauts. Even down to our cereal packets, there were things about space and what we were going to do. It was all about space. For me to have got this far and to be able to have a taste of what I felt at that time is an amazing thing. And I would wish everybody could take this journey too.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about this commitment, because it is quite some commitment, and it started with you about 3 years ago, I suppose. And now, obviously, recently you've been in Star City training. We could see some of the footage there. We can see you in your, is it called a Sokol suit?
Yes, it is.
Just tell us a little bit about that, because you travel in the capsule in that, is that correct?
Yes, when I first saw the suit, actually they laid it out on a table, and they had all the pieces that went with it and what you had to deal with. I became incredibly excited about it. I mean, I'd obviously done some research on it before, but actually to have it there in front of me. The reason why, when you're standing in the suit, you're sort of quite hunched over. You'll have seen this with the cosmonauts when they're walking out. And it's because the seat is, you're kind of almost in a fetal position. There's a reason for this, because you're protected for your back and for all the strain on the body that you have to go through. And so the suit is built in that way.
When we saw you in the snow, didn't we? And that's a survival training,
Yeah.
and the reason for that is when you land in Kazakhstan, is it?
Yes, hopefully.
Hopefully in Kazakhstan.
But
it
you
might
may
not
not. I mean, usually for why survival training is practiced and learnt is if you don't land there. You may land on water. I actually have a water survival training that I have to do as well.
You're enjoying it, obviously, Sarah, because
I
you've just
love
come
it.
back here briefly, haven't you?
It's amazing. You go through a sort of typical day. I'm usually up at 6 in the morning. I'm staying in Star City at the moment. And a typical day is go for lectures, which, you're taught about the different systems. You do 4 hours of Russian, you do physical training, you may have to do some survival training. A lot of the times you're in the simulator in the suit, going through all sorts of things that you have to, and emergency situations as well.
Because they are rehearsals, effectively,
yes,
aren't they? Technical
they are.
rehearsals.
Yes. And then in the evening, I tend to sort of, grab a coffee, a little bit of something to eat, and then I start studying again. It's been lovely being involved with the Challenger Centre, which is very exciting.
This is the Space Science Centre, which was the foundation was set up in remembrance of those who died in the Challenger space shuttle.
That's right. I was taken to one of the Challenger centres. I walked in, and they had set up a mission control centre with all these children in who are, creating a launch. Really, they had all their computers on, and they were really excited, and they were issuing commands. And then you went through a revolving door, and on the other side was actually the International Space Station, and all the kids were in there, doing all their experiments and chatting to each other, and they were completely ignoring us as we were walking around, because they were so immersed in all of this. I have mentioned that I would like to sing something from space, and I would like to connect with either a choir or children or another singer orchestra on Earth, because I think that would be a beautiful thing.
Okay, so it's your time, everybody. We'll start with this gentleman over here, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. This is Russian Public TV. What are you going to sing?
I'm trying to find a piece which is beautiful and simple in its message, as well as not too complicated to sing. I have been working a little with my ex-husband Andrew Lloyd Webber, so we're just taking it slowly at the moment.
I just wondered whether you'd had to take any steps in terms of, I don't know, ensuring your voice.
Do you feel yourself cosmonaut or astronaut?
I suppose everybody wants to know if you could take one song with you to outer space, what would it be?
What was the hardest thing you had to go through physically?
You do have to go through a lot. You're in the altitude chamber often. You have to go in the centrifuge. You're up against pretty high G. We have to do a training for sickness. You are on a sort of turning chair. It makes you feel incredibly nauseous, but you get used to the feeling and how to deal with it. You have to be really, really committed.
You talk about watching the moon landings as a 9-year-old. How do you think the way we look at space and our ambitions about space exploration have changed since then?
I think we live in such an extraordinary place. Our planet is absolutely beautiful, but because we're immersed in it and we're on it, sometimes we can't really see it for what it is. And for me, I mean, one of the main reasons for wanting to go up is I just want to understand everything better. And I've had the opportunity to do this. And from talking to everybody that has been up, they say they do understand our planet better, seeing how delicate it is. And I'm just incredibly excited to go.
We're going to have to end the question and answer session, I'm afraid, just because of time. I'm sorry about that. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Okay.